not. Believe it or not, Rose is not the only ghost that lives in this school. She is, of course, the most well-known. She has a whole auditorium named after her. But this hallway right here is home to another ghost. We don't know his name. We don't know when he died. But the ghost of a Spanish teacher lives in Mr. Glasgow's hallway. Not many people really know this because, well, nobody really goes down here. You can see the floor is nice and shiny from the wax all the way back in August. Only the bravest of Ivy students venture down. Are you ready? As you go in, please go to your left and file into the back row of seats. I do not mean the row with 4 chairs. That is my back row. Everybody have a seat? Perfect. All right. Don't look at me.
I hardly knew Rose. She was in an introduction to theater class with me. She had a few friends, but I wasn't one of them. Regardless of how well I knew her, it was still sad to see that she died. I've never had someone I know die. What made it worse is that I was there. I spoke to her the day she died, probably just hours before her death. Everybody says that it was a total accident, that she was just up there in heaven, and she slipped and fell. But I know the truth. After school, we were fixing the set on stage and setting lights. By the time I had to go, most of the others had gone too. It was a large set, everyone was really worn out, and I wanted to go. Rose was there the whole time. She was always really helpful and did her job well. But she was new and didn't have all that much experience. But that night, we were the last ones there. Everyone else had left, and I really wanted to go. It didn't look like she had a ride waiting outside for her or anything, so I asked if she would finish up fixing the lights in heaven and just leave when she was ready, since I had to go. But when it left, out of habit, I turned the lights off. I forgot she was up there. I didn't call blackout. I left. Ever since that night, I can't help but think that her death was all my fault. If I didn't ask her to go up there, she wouldn't have died that night. I tell myself that she must have committed suicide. But if that's the case, why she haunted me everywhere I go?
You've all heard the story. You know what happened to Rose. She's been dead for years now. But did you know that she's still here? I know she is, because I've seen her. At first I thought I was going crazy, because I've been a long school day. My students have been preparing for a new show and had rehearsal till 6 o'clock. I get up at 4:30 in the morning. My husband saw her too. I was in the theater wrapping up and turning off the lights. I tried to shut the lights overhead right there in the center of the auditorium, but they wouldn't turn off. So I shielded my eyes and looked up to heaven so I could see if something was wrong. And all I saw was this face. I even shut my eyes and opened them again, and the face was still there. My husband walked into the theater as he was helping me pack up. Not taking my eyes off the face, I motioned him over. He walked to me, and then I pointed up to the lights. The next words he spoke weren't exactly family-oriented. But then, we heard a little whisper. I'm Rose. An arm emerged from above to wave us, and I turned to my husband for validation of what I just heard, but when I looked back, she was gone. I wanted to make sure I wasn't being messed with, so I ran to the entrance of heaven. It was locked, and the lights had been turned off.
Oh, you guys didn't think that was funny? Oh. Well, what do you think then? Did Rose fall from heaven? Was she ever really there to begin with? There are so many unknowns, things we can't be certain of, can never be certain of. We can only hear what we hear and make our own decisions. Unfortunately, we are not gifted with omniscience. Unfortunately. Unfortunate. I love to ponder over the word unfortunate. When we think unfortunate, we think about people without homes, without jobs, without food or water or any of the creature comforts that we Americans have come to enjoy. One of my hopes is that when you leave here tonight, the word unfortunate will have a whole new meaning in your minds. If you'll follow me. We're going to hold up right here for just a minute. It's a little bit of a hassle getting in and out of there. We don't want anyone to fall behind. How are you liking the tour?
It's great.
Yeah? Anybody scared yet?
I'm not scared.
No? Well, we won't make you go back down the elevator. We're going to go this way. I hear you whispering, you know. Do you know what I find fascinating? I think it's fascinating that lots of people can see the same event and yet at the same time see very, very different things happening. As we move on to our next story, you will see that these three are prime examples of this point. As we file into the little theater, I would like you to take a seat in the front row, right in front of the people who are already waiting for us. We're going to start with an interesting story. An administrator, a reporter, and a boyfriend walk into a school.
teleprompter going, we're live in 5, 4, 3, 2. Coin 6 local news here at South Salem High School on this tragic day. The Salem community mourns the loss of Junior Rose Adams. I'm here today with
Tabitha Corinth.
Calvin Nicolai.
We offer our sincerest condolences to the family of Rose Adams. The administration at South would like
I
to.
think I should have seen it coming. She asked me to meet her up in heaven. The catwalks for lunch. This was her thinking spot. She only went there
When teens are going through puberty, they often struggle with feelings they can't explain. These aren't anyone's fault, they just...
we're too much for this young girl, and family and friends are now feeling her pain. Now, Mr. Nicolai, you cared very much for Rose. Can you tell us more about what was going on in her head?
we met by accident. She was on her way down to one of the storage rooms, carrying this giant source for a light, and I was on my way home. She looked like she was about to fall over, but she had this determination on her face. I wanted to help, but she was always so determined. It made me want to help. Nobody else felt that way.
Bullying has been a rising issue in high schools across the country, and it seems South has been no exception. Around 20% of teen deaths in 1995 have been suicides related to bullying, and in 1997, that number rose to 27%. Now, Mrs. Cornett, what is the administration's stance on this issue?
Now, see, the thing about bullying is, with bullying, it has to be reported. We at South pride ourselves on our reports to instances ratio, as it is much higher than the rest of the districts.
What? Is this some kind of joke? Some stupid statistic doesn't describe her. No one number, or set of words, or color, or anything could describe her. She was a mystery to everyone she interacted with. You know nothing about Rose, okay? Neither did I.
So, who was Rose? Throughout all of her torture, did anyone think about who she really was? Her boyfriend can't tell us what happened. Her parents can't tell us what happened. So who's to say for sure what happened to this poor girl?
Here's what happened.
In times like these,
We
people
walked to the
don't
edge
know
of the
where to go
catwalks
for
where the
answers.
lights were hanging.
Problems and solutions. The
Who's
answers
so
to questions
expensive?
are
Why
not
was this supposed to
I
happen?
hate myself for not putting the
This
pieces
woman
together.
takes so much without you, babe.
She was right there.
And
I was behind her.
And
I just let her do it. I just let her jump, and now she's gone.
Who's listening?
God, why couldn't I have seen it?
Who's to say what she felt?
I mean, I was the closest thing she'd ever known to home, and
Who
I didn't know she wanted to kill
was
herself.
Rose?
A reporter, an administrator, and a boyfriend walk into a school. Kind of sounds like the beginning of a bar joke. I would laugh if only the circumstances were just a little bit brighter. But they're not. The circumstances are dark, horribly, terribly dark. Black. We are very quickly learning that life isn't all rainbows. More often, it is pitch black night with only occasional spots of light to distract us from the ever-present darkness. If you'll follow me. last one's out? Lovely. We are nearing the end of our tour. In just a few moments, we will be going past the point of no return. If any of you are too scared, I can bring you back now. And really, it might be a good idea. Once we go down those stairs, we can't come back. Well, if you're ready. Hang on, it looks like there's some restless spirits in here. Oh dear. Are you guys sure? Are you sure? Well, we're almost at the end of the night. Tonight we've heard many stories from many different perspectives. But we've yet to hear from the one person that really matters. The girl whom our attention has been constantly focused on. Rose. But how can we hear a perspective from someone who is dead? Dead people don't talk. Unless there is one way. We're about to introduce you to Jordan, Riley, and Malcolm. Well, it seems like things are going wrong already.
Hello. I'm sure you've heard plenty of stories about the ghosts in the theater by now. I know I have. Everyone seems to think something different. And I don't know about you, but I'm not going to blindly believe the stories that they tell.
Yeah, I mean, who even was Rose? A student, a little girl? There are so many inconsistencies, so much speculation. The only real thing we know for sure is that she's here. She is here in the theater. She may very well be in this room. And the only real way to tell the truth is to ask her ourselves. Come, step up.
Have any of you participated in a seance before? I have. I've done it hundreds of times, and it's completely safe. Okay, maybe completely safe is a bit of an overstatement, but most of the spirits hanging around aren't malevolent.
Oh, hello. Occasionally, though, if you're lucky, you'll get those, malicious spirits, per se, and, well, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes things can get a little intense. You see, these spirits, they were once people, and, well, there are good people and there are bad people, both living and dead. And we take risks by trusting the living all the time. Isn't it curious how we have such a difficult time with trusting the dead? But isn't it worth the risk? I think it is. I want to know what happened to Rose. And, well, what's the worst that can happen? Get the candles, Riley.
We need 3. Spirits like 3. Malcolm here has led a lot of seances, and most of them went really well. We are completely safe. If we do encounter a spirit tonight, I urge you not to scream, not to interrupt, or any quick movements. Also, remember to keep an open mind. Spirits react poorly to negative energy. Everyone understand?
Okay, that is settled. Let's begin.
Oh, great spirits of the beyond! We are searching for the young soul of Rose. Rose, if you're there, come to us! We have questions for you.
Rose, are you with us? If so, tap twice for yes. Rose, is that you? Rose, is there any way for us to learn about what has happened to you?
Rose? Is that you? Are you still there? What do you want to know? How I died? Wouldn't it be great to know? You've heard all sorts of other stories on why I'm here and how I got here. So, you want to know?
Riley!
Did it work?
I suppose you've all been waiting to hear what I have to say. The truth. Well, maybe you should first think about how I feel. All these people, strangers, telling stories about me. They just want to be right. They don't care about my dreams, or the life I could have lived. I wanted to be an actress. I wanted to be on Broadway and in movies. They called me ambitious, but I believed I could get there someday. What do you care? You just want to know how I died. Doesn't everyone? That's why you're here, I suppose. Why you brought me here. For you. Well, you want to know what? I'm not telling.
Well, what do you think? When did Rose die? And where? Maybe here. Maybe there. And how did she die? Maybe out of spite, or even an accident. More importantly, did it even happen at all? A girl dies in the theater. The stories practically write themselves. One thing obvious to me in light of this event is that we, as humans, are driven by a need to romanticize death, to find meaning in something that we have no conceivable notion on. Death is something everyone obtains, but no one knows how or when their own story will end. The darkness changes the meaning of things, in the same way night changes the meaning of words. In the daytime, a cemetery is a place to remember, to bury the ones you love, and even a place to wander, pondering the balance of life and death. But at night it takes on a more sinister note. Death becomes more of a void, endless, unforgiving, cold. An abyss of nothingness untouched by time. The theater has never seen the light of day. And in the dark, our minds play tricks on us. The sound of the air blowing through. The lights in the ports so bright they blind anything that looks in their general direction. The sound of a person opening and shutting a door. Maybe it was nothing, but then again, maybe there was a face in the ports, the face of someone who looks so familiar that you are all alone. Maybe the wind moved the curtains, or maybe someone reached out and touched them. Maybe they are reaching out to us. And possibly, you are alone in the theater. The door opens. The door shuts. You call into the darkness, and there is nobody there. In the dark, our minds may trick us. But then again, maybe it was Rose coming by just to make sure we will never forget. All right, well, that's all the time we have tonight. Here, let me just... There we go. If you'll just follow the nice young lady out right up the steps we came down, that's the end of our tour tonight. Let's go, gotta move on. Oops. Watch your step on the way out, everyone. Wait for me out in the hall if you would. As we walk down this hallway, we are going to be passing the table with the star boxes. It's one of the biggest fundraisers that we do this year. There's a box for every room and a box for every tour guide. Once again, my name is Cassie, and if you want to put some money in there, that's A-okay with me. There are also programs on the table on the way out if you want to know who you saw performing tonight.